Hey everybody, welcome back to TAZ's Wig Closet at Wig Studio One. Today I have a look for you on a brand new Estetica style for fall 2020, very much anticipated. This is Ryder in the color RH1488 RT8. The full look, breakdown of this new style and color coming up. This style was sent to me by Wig Studio One for this review today. Be sure to go down below, expand the description box where you'll find a link to this style. You can check out the details and pricing. There will also be a promo code for you to use for 30% off at Wig Studio One. We invite you to shop at Wig Studio One. If you have any questions, you can contact them at support@wigstudio1.com. So Ryder is a short, straight, heavily layered, angled bob style. Doesn't it seem like we've seen this style before? I don't know, they just all seem to run together for me. But those short, straight, angled bob style cuts, I think they'll probably always be in style. Now this particular one does have a couple of unique features I'll be sure to point out today. But let's take a look at this color first, this RH1488 RT8. I have presented this color many times, and it was also included in my Estetica Blondes video where I showed you all the blondes by Estetica. Many of them, I think there was 6 to 10 of them if I'm not mistaken. I'll go ahead and link the video up here. Now what I've noticed is that colors can evolve over time. They can change depending on the style and the where it's produced, manufactured, you know, what batch it's in, what year it's made, that kind of thing. And I really feel like this RH1488 has gotten maybe a bit more gold in tone. I used to remember it as being more of a neutral tone, but it does have like a honey base color, and then it is highlighted with that amber blonde highlight. And I think that's probably what it is. Some variations of this color have more of that amber blonde or amber gold highlight than others. So I think this is neutral overall, just because it has a very neutral base color, but I think that amber gold in this particular application does move it into warm territory. So I believe it's neutral leaning warm, and then that medium brown root is still very dark. It is a very pretty color. I am waiting for Estetica to come out with a more ashy blonde tone, not platinum, but just an ashy, layered ash on ash blonde tone, aren't you? So I think on a bob style like this, the layering, the measurements really make a difference in how it is going to look on you. So I am approximately 6.5 inches from the hairline to the chin. I think I'm realizing that's pretty short. So most of the time the pieces at the front are really gonna hang down a little farther on me than average. So just keep that in mind. It would be helpful if you had your own face measurement so you could determine where these layers are going to strike you around the face. So right in the front, Ryder features about a 7.5 inch piece right here at the front. And I think that's true. I think that does stretch about 1 inch below my chin there. Now it appears that there may be some additional layering here at the front. But really what I think is that it's coming from the sides, and we're going to discuss that here in just a moment. The crown is about 8 inches, crown down, and then it really does taper down then into a 2.5 inch nape. So you will get a nice stacking beveled effect right there at the back, and that angles down then into those front pieces. There's about a 6 inch layer here on the sides. Now this one does feature a full temple to temple lace front, and that's a seamless lace unit that extends back to the crown on the left hand side. What was ironic about this is that when I first got it out of the box and applied it, the first thing that stuck out at me was that part. That part is actually completely pristine. It's sharp, it has no edges, it's just perfect, all the way back centered on that lace. It's a very long part that goes back to the crown, but they didn't bother with a weave pattern or anything else. I think that the straight part on this crisp style is probably the best option. So while I'm up here, let's take a look. All right, so here's your lace front. It does run temple to temple. And it is interspersed there. The dark root is interspersed with some of the highlight color. It does soften that root quite a bit. It's very fine knotting right there at the front. So I think this is actually really well done. This is the best we can hope for with such a dark root. And then again, you can see the illusion of scalp all the way back to the crown along that lace part. So what I think is really unique about this style is the layering. Of course, you're going to see a lot of razoring on the ends of these layers. And I think this first layer here on the sides, the 6-inch layer that comes off of the crown down, is really heavily razored, and you can almost pick out, it's a very delineated type of layer right there. And I think that is what we're seeing in the model photos, because that model photo looks like it's it has a lot of volume. Looks like it has a lot of volume and a lot of texture and a lot of body, doesn't it, to keep those layers going? But in reality, this is a very slim profile style. So you're really gonna have to work at bringing out this layering. You have to get in there with your fingers and just bring air into the layers, get them all nice and separated so that you can really bring out the beauty of this razored layering. One thing I've noticed just by wearing it a little bit here prior to the review is number one, the layers just they go back together. It doesn't stay separated. It doesn't stay full on the sides. This has very little permatease all over. This is a very low permatease style, basically just a thin layer around that lace, a little bit in the back, really barely any at the nape and on the sides. Nowhere on this style do I feel the springy little hairs that we traditionally think of as permatease. So I feel like this is meant to be more of a low profile style, and the manufacturer photo just makes it look like you're gonna get all this volume. A medium to low density on this, and each one of these fibers is super fine and dry. I'm already getting a lot of static. The weather is turning a little bit less humidity, and I'm starting to see those pieces react to the static around the face. You can see here, and those are difficult to tame down, and I actually have a video on that, and that'd be a great one for you to watch with the upcoming drier weather coming. But back to this layering, I mean, if you just get in there, it's probably going to have a little bit of a forward movement. It's going to frame the face nicely, and you're going to be able to see all that razoring. It has a little bit of a coil around the face, so it's just beautiful around the face. So right out of the box, I talked a little bit about that part. I simply shook it out, put it on, didn't have to find the part found me. But I did use the heat from my hand just a little at the front. It reacted very well, actually, to that. Just to give me a little bit of lift there at the front so that the part stayed right there and it divided around my face, and I did my best to kind of keep it out of the eyes. This style is prone to getting really stringy. First of all, you have that really fine, ultra fine fiber. And those fibers, especially in a situation where there might be some static, they tend to clump together a little bit. So I think you're probably, with this style, going to have to run a brush through this several times a day if you're wearing it all day. Now, a wide tooth comb I don't think is going to quite do the trick. I think a wide tooth comb would actually enhance the stringiness of it. But if you have just a little wig brush like this, you would just take it out of your purse and just run it through. It would take you just a couple of seconds in the ladies' room. And it actually fluffs out again pretty nicely. But like I said, I really think that this style is going to get a little stringy on you several times throughout the day. All right, so let's run down the highlights. A polished bob, a sleek layered polished bob short. It has a bit of an angle to it. Lace front, left lace part all the way back, a pristine parting space, a nice lace front with fine knotting, a nice soft look, as good as you can get. Very little permatease. Remember, on this style, you're not going to get a lot of volume and lift. It's meant to be a little slimmer profile. The density is just an average density, but due to those very fine fibers, I think you're going to see a lot of flyaways and some stringiness. Inside look at the cap for Estetica's Rider. This is a classic Estetica cap. No surprises here. There's your lace front. It does run back through the ear tab. It's nicely contoured. And then that lace extends through the left-hand side all the way back to the crown. There's a closed ear tab, an open extended nape with the incremental hook style adjusters. Lots of wefting. There is a lot of stretch on this style. And it can accommodate more easily an average large than it would be for a petite average. So as I mentioned, this style is right out of the box. I haven't done anything to it. I haven't used any product in this hair. This is the way it is, right out of the box, just a simple shake. The glasses fit beautifully between the ear and the ear tab on this style. There's very little permatease there. And as we know, the Estetica caps are a little more minimal with those open ear tabs, so you're not going to have a problem getting a nice comfortable fit with your glasses. Now, because that part is a very pristine, stubborn part there, I'm not sure you're going to want to do anything different. If you tried to part it on the other side, I think you risk exposing the cap. And there's a little bit of parting space there to work with, about 1 inch. So if you tried to move the hair over on the lee edge of that part of that lace, I just still think you're going to have an uphill battle because it's really trained and pressed into that pristine part. So you could maybe do a little bit of volume on the top, just pinch in as much as you can. I just don't think you're going to have much luck getting that to stay. Just because there's no permatease there, no substantial permatease to support that. Thanks for joining me today for a look at the brand new Estetica's Rider in the color RH1488 RTA. Be sure to check this out at Wig Studio 1. See you next time on Taz's Wig Closet at Wig Studio 1.